Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question was suggested by a viewer. Thanks to Francesco Vitiello for this one. Amy's graveyard contains an instant, a sorcery, and a land. Can Amy sacrifice 2 treasure tokens to play Bloodbraid Marauder and get a cascade? Okay, so first of all, I think we can all agree that this will not work if Amy sacrifices the 2 treasure tokens for mana, floats the mana, and then plays the Bloodbraid Marauder. There's a state-based action that tokens have where anytime a token is in any zone other than the battlefield, it will cease to exist. And that means that before Amy even gets priority to play the Bloodbraid Marauder, the treasure tokens will have already vanished. However, it is possible to say that you're casting a spell and, as part of casting that spell, activate some mana abilities, which treasure tokens conveniently have. That means that if you do such a thing, you would be sacrificing the treasure tokens during the process of casting the spell, and they will not vanish until the next time state-based actions will occur, which is, conveniently enough, after you finish casting that spell. So we got through Phase 1. Now let's go to Phase 2, which is a little bit of information about how triggered abilities work. Anytime something happens in the game checks to see if any triggered abilities need to trigger. And after that point, the game will put those triggered abilities on the stack. Importantly, once triggered, a triggered ability will exist independently of its source and will continue to go on the stack and resolve even if the source dies, or in this case, if the source happens to lose that triggered ability. Alright, so that works out pretty well for us because the time when triggered abilities that trigger when you cast a spell, such as Cascade, will trigger is at the point when you finish paying the costs. That works out nicely for us because that point is definitely after we sacrifice the treasure tokens, which we use to make the mana to pay the cost. However, it's also before state-based actions get checked, which happens after the process of casting the spell is completed. That means that at the time when the spell has become cast, we do have the treasure tokens in the graveyard, albeit momentarily. The treasure tokens will vanish the next time state-based actions will happen, which is the next thing that will happen in the game. However, by that point, the triggered ability has already triggered. So, we're past Stage 1 and Stage 2, however, Stage 3 is where things are going to get a little bit sad. You see, if you look carefully at Bloodbraid Marauder's text, you see that the Delirium ability is only going to be active if you have 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. Now, that's important because a token is not a card, even if it's physically represented by one. That means that tokens will never count towards the number of card types you have with Delirium for this card because, again, they aren't cards, and we only care about card types among cards in your graveyard, which the tokens are not. In a way, this ruling kind of reminds me of the Urza Saga plus Blood Moon one, where we had a lot of really interesting stuff going on and a lot of moving parts, and it seemed really promising that something cool was about to happen, only for all our hope to get lost at the very last moment due to a really obscure and insignificant seeming technicality. Unfortunate, but that's the way the rules are sometimes in Magic. Bad break, Amy. No Cascade for you today. And that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again tomorrow for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.